guys, this is Carrie, Fullerton Professional Organizing, and today we're looking at she does have a YouTube channel where she talks a lot about decorating, and on her blog she talks about organizing and decluttering. So this information, some of her ideas that I'm giving you are from her blog, and her name is Shannon Acheson, Acheson, and her YouTube channel, let's see, I forgot the name of her YouTube channel. Let me check real quick. Homemade Lovely, and that is also the name of her website, Homemade Lovely. And she talks about where to start when you are decluttering, and she starts with telling you to make a plan. She says start with the room that you spend most of your time in. Is that the kitchen, living room, office, wherever it is, we'll start there. Now, I always started with the living room and the areas that if I were to invite company over, what area would they see first or the most? And so that's where I always started. I always had the living room clean because that was where company is going to see first. She says get one room checked off the list and you have the motivation to move on to the next. She says block off time, even if it's just 20 minutes at a time. Working in small chunks keeps you on track, and that is so true. You can at least do 15 to 20 minutes, even if it's just okay. Now, start with anything that might be time sensitive. If you are feeling overwhelmed by your home, you need to start with the things that have some sensitivity to them. You know, make sure all your bills are paid, make sure all your library books are returned. Focus on these items first, then tackle the rest little by little. Make sure your clothes and food are looked after. Once you have dealt with all the time-sensitive items, move on to clothes and food. If you need to order a pizza, order pizza. You know, if dinner is going to be too much while you're decluttering, go ahead and do that. It's fine. Take your laundry. Make sure your laundry is getting done. Take a laundry basket and go through, and I do each person's laundry separate. You know, you can do a small load, a medium load, or a large load. You can still save your laundry detergent. You can still save your water. Just use the small, medium, and large load quantities. But make sure your family has clean laundry while you're doing your decluttering, and make sure they have something to eat. Set a timer for just 15 minutes each day. Take some time either at the beginning or end of each day and set a timer for 15 minutes. See how much you can get done during this period, and when the timer is up, then you can stop. But if you have the energy and the motivation to keep going, then you can do that as well. If you didn't get through everything you wanted to, you can start again the next day. Start with one big task each day. Choose one big task for each day in the week or room if you prefer to do it that way. Set aside time to go through and do a good clean of this area or do this big task. Use the 4-bag hack. Many years ago, there was from How to Clean Fast when company is on their way. I guess they used 4 big bags, but she's adapted it for her own purposes. Things that go in the trash, broken things, things that you've been hanging on to for years, expired food, junk mail, clothes that don't fit anymore or are torn. You get the idea. All things trash go in the trash. Things to recycle, if there's anything that needs to be sent to the recycling, paper, plastic, things to give to charity, all things that you're ready to donate. Because you've heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? There's always going to be someone in need that could use what you're just ready to let go of. You just don't use it anymore. It's not that it's a bad, there's something wrong with the item. It's still a good item that you're donating. It's just that it's no longer useful in the season that you're in right now. And then the things that you want to keep. The items you're keeping if the items you're keeping doesn't bring you joy or make you feel fantastic when you're wearing it, do you really want to keep it? Be ruthless here. The aim of the game is to declutter and get rid of everything that isn't currently necessary in your life, to simplify. Now, she has, put the trash bag in the trash, take the recycling to your local recycling center, contact charities that pick up donations, or drop your donations off at the nearest donation box. There's always some type of donation box in some parking lot where you can just stick your items. Find a home for all the things you're keeping, or put them back where they belong if they already have a home. Now you can use this exact set of actions on the rest of the rooms in your house. Now, here are some extra tips. Keep a small box in each room for donations. Invest in the right kind of storage for your space. If you live with other people or have children, show them around and explain where things go. Also, make sure everything's labeled. Getting everyone involved will make this way of life simpler and less of a chore for you all. All right, now, Shannon shares her 7 steps to decluttering any space in your home, no matter the size or amount of clutter. If you need to shop for organization items, make sure you measure first. But keep in mind, if you do buy the wrong item for your space, just know that you can return these items. We want to get rid of clutter because we want to release that stress. We want to enjoy our homes. Our homes are meant for living in. They are meant for loving on people. A study done by UCLA says that women who see their homes as cluttered have elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol. The steps to decluttering are the same regardless of how big or small the space is, or how little or how much clutter you have. You have to declutter before you can organize. There's no sense shoving things around trying to organize things you don't need or don't have room for. Sometimes it has to be brutal if you don't have room for everything that you own. If you feel overwhelmed at that moment of getting started, focus on what you want the end result to be and just take baby steps, one small space at a time, one drawer at a time, one shelf at a time. Start small, a junk drawer, or in a high impact space like an entryway. Start with something that will give you a quick win and give you confidence to keep going, or the motivation to keep going. Ask yourself 3 questions if you are unsure about decluttering an item. Is it useful? Is it beautiful? And is it sentimental? Choose your space to declutter and empty it out. Remember, it can be as small as a drawer, but empty it out completely. It will have to look worse before it gets better. And it doesn't mean you have to completely empty out an entire room. If that feels overwhelming, like we just said, start with a small space. You can break a room up into zones. Sort like items together and edit what you will keep. Assign a home for what you are keeping. Label it, put it away. Labeling is important for helping the rest of the household know where things go back. Revisit the systems you have put in place and change any that aren't working for you. Yes, I have organized many spaces in my home. Some of them worked right away, and it made life so much easier. Like having all your baking ingredients and all your baking tools all in the same space. That's basically going to work for you, especially if you organized it near a big countertop that you're going to work on. But there have been other spaces that I had to keep changing up until they finally worked. Like under my kitchen sink, it was staying a mess. It was not working. And I take a whole year, maybe a whole 6 months to evaluate whether or not a space is working or not. If it stays neat for 6 months or stays neat for a whole year, then I know that system is working. If not, then it has to be re-evaluated and it has to be tweaked and it has to be changed to make it work for your personality and your way of doing things. Not everyone is able to keep every single space perfectly organized the first time they organize it. All right, guys, I really hope this was helpful. These are a lot of things that you have to consider when you're overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, and how to keep yourself on track and still take care of the laundry and, the meals and the bills and all the other things that have to be done. There's no they just have to be done. I forgot the word I'm trying to use, but they're essentials. The essentials have to get done. All right, guys, I will talk to you on the next one. Thank you for listening.